You sit down to plan your future. You try to think ahead. You try to set goals. You try to imagine your life 1 year from now, and your mind goes blank. Not because you are lazy, not because you lack intelligence, but because something inside you quietly resists the future. You feel it every day, the hesitation, the uncertainty, the sense that everything feels fragile. You tell yourself, I'll figure it out later, when things calm down, when life becomes more stable. But life never becomes more stable. And over time, you stop planning at all. You stop dreaming clearly. You stop committing to direction. You start living in short-term survival mode. This is not a personality flaw. This is a psychological response to the world you live in. Your brain evolved for environments that were predictable, seasons, cycles, clear cause and effect. But modern life is different. Today, everything changes too fast. Information changes daily. Careers shift constantly. Economies feel unstable. Social expectations are contradictory. Success no longer follows a clear path. Your nervous system is constantly scanning for threats. Even if you don't feel afraid consciously, your body feels it. But modern life is different. When the future feels unpredictable, the brain does one thing. It prioritizes safety over vision. Long-term planning requires trust. Trust that your effort will matter. Trust that stability exists. Trust that the path makes sense. But uncertainty destroys trust. So instead of thinking long-term, the brain adapts. It pulls you toward short-term comfort, short-term distraction, short-term relief. Scrolling feels safer than planning. Consuming feels easier than creating. Staying passive feels less risky than committing. Not because you are weak, but because your nervous system is trying to protect you. This is why planning feels exhausting now. This is why goals feel artificial. This is why everything feels temporary. You are not broken, you are overloaded. Overloaded with information, overloaded with choices, overloaded with pressure, overloaded with comparison. Your mind is not confused, it is overstimulated. And when the mind is overstimulated, it loses depth, it loses patience, it loses long-term thinking. You begin living in fragments, moments, tasks, notifications, deadlines, not in direction. This is the real psychological truth. You don't struggle to plan because you are incapable. You struggle to plan because your environment has trained your brain to stay reactive. But this can be reversed. Not by forcing motivation, not by building massive life plans, but by rebuilding clarity. The first step is not planning. The first step is reducing noise, less information, less stimulation, less mental clutter, because clarity cannot exist in chaos. When the mind becomes quieter, something returns naturally: perspective, depth, direction. You begin to feel what matters again, not what is trending, not what is expected, but what is real for you. From that place, planning stops feeling heavy. It stops feeling artificial. It starts feeling grounded, not a 5-year fantasy, but a simple direction, not pressure, but alignment. You do not need to control the future. You need to rebuild your relationship with it. And that begins when you stop living entirely in reaction mode. You are not failing to plan. You are adapting to chaos, but you don't have to stay there. Awareness creates distance. Distance creates clarity. Clarity creates direction. And direction is what planning was always meant to be. Not control, not perfection, but presence. If this felt uncomfortably familiar, that's not weakness. That's recognition. And recognition is where change begins. And if you want more videos like this, calm, honest, psychological truths about life and discipline, you can subscribe, not for motivation, but for clarity.